In order to think in space, we feel it might help to be able to map our knowledge. XR radically extends this notion. By mapping our knowledge, we just mean something like what we have in Author, which is a space to put all kinds of knowledge, whether it's concepts, people, whatever it might be, seeing how they connect. So today, I will be doing a demo of a map that starts life on a laptop and expands to XR via JSON. But first, this was done a little bit before we started the project a year and a half ago. Just a basic notion of starting with a mapping, and when you're ready to have more space, you do something with your glasses. There wasn't even a Apple Vision Pro at the time, so I just tapped my actual glasses to indicate something in the future, and it becomes big. And last week, Apple introduced the notion of a liquid glass interface. For me, that's quite evocative because I developed a philosophy of liquid information in the 90s, which is why in 96 I registered liquid.org. I wrote a manifesto on there and thought it was worth revisiting that for what we're doing now. And there were two things in the manifesto that really stood out as being relevant to today, so that was nice to see. The first thing is the notion of liquid information is where you don't learn to use the computer, you learn to use tools that happen to live in the medium of the computer. This, to me, is very much part of the promise of XR. Liquid should not be a surface effect. It should help you dive into your information. And liquid information is the end of isolated information. This is very much about the importance of open information and rich metadata. Liquid information above everything is not primarily about what happens to the information, but it is about what happens to you in the information, that you become more liquid. By this I mean better informed, more thoughtful, a better communicator, and more creative, because the medium expands your potential, expanding your mind by expanding your thinking space, basically. I believe that what we're showing you today, developed in concert with the wider future of text community, really helps point the way to this, what this can be. So here we are with the Mac version of a map. So I work on it a little bit, then I go to an export it to XR, put on my headset, put in a URL, don't worry, I'll explain exactly this process afterwards. But the point is, it's the same data, and now I'm in a headset, click, click, click on all the allow buttons, and here it is, the same stuff, just massive. I can now pinch and move things anywhere I want, which is a very powerful and natural interaction. Please notice that the hand becomes semi-transparent when I select, so I can see through, which is a magic capability of XR. And when I let go, thanks to Fabian's brilliant idea, it faces me, so I can place the text exactly where I want without weird hand movements to get it in a funny spot. And I can move it anywhere. That's really, really important to point out. No longer just in that frame or on that beginning space. You can move it behind you if that's useful. It becomes a real potential for memory palace. So now if I pinch and do an extra finger gesture, I can add a note, put that anywhere else, of course, that I want. So that is the basic idea of working on a map of your knowledge in XR. Put things anywhere, move them as you want, and interact with them. The way it works is, first you export from whatever desktop software you're using. In my case, it's an export dialog, but also a keyboard shortcut. And then what happens is the JSON of the map view is uploaded to a server. We happen to use a WordPress blog because it's relatively accessible to more people rather than a full server. And then what's important is the URL formation, the URL of where the JSON is placed on the blog, and the URL of the XR knowledge space that Fabian has built is combined, so that when the URL goes to the knowledge space, at the end of it, it says where the WordPress blog is with the JSON of the data for the map. So it's really important to emphasize that the JSON I used is open and accessible with documentation on our website, and we'll keep adding more. It was made by my team who built Author completely freestanding from this project to fit in with the XR environment that Fabien has done. And this is possible because of Fabien's architecture. So it's really, really important to notice that this is open, and also worth noticing that this is, or noting that this has been a real headache, getting information from computer to It's a much bigger headache than we expected, but now we have a solution for that. So also, the interactions have been an interesting journey from controllers, physical controllers last year, to direct pinching this year. It's also been interesting how, as I mentioned, when you pinch something, your hand goes transparent, because otherwise it's overlaying the information. And the other really cool thing with Fabienne's brilliant idea of the billboarding effect, meaning the text faces you, but only at the point of letting go of the pinch. So when you move your head later, it's still where you want it, which is really, really useful. But of course, in other environments, you would want that to keep moving to face your proper billboarding. So finally, next for mapping, we will look into interactions to change focus, see and follow connections, as well as compressing and decompressing information, the kind of things that I talked about a few weeks ago. So there are many, many aspects, especially developing both the set of commands that we need to have in the environment and the specific gestures or other ways that we can have it, how it's presented. So I just think it's incredible how far we've gone. You're going to see a lot of amazing things that Fabien's going to be showing next. I just really wanted to highlight that the basic simple interaction of moving your knowledge bits around is quite the thing. So thank you.